Nosferatu are well known for their warrens, complex labyrinths beneath the streets of a city that hold certain death for those unwelcome. The clan attributes their knowledge to Zelios, a scholar of geomantic power, master planner, and gifted architect, who disappeared beneath New York City in the 1990s. He left behind him a wealth of knowledge and information the clan has continued to use well into the current nights, shaping the urban environment to their benefit. Greetings, kindred. I am voivodemekhet, and welcome back to our World of Darkness and the Laws of the Night playlist. In this playlist, we go over LARP, live action roleplay rules for Vampire the Masquerade, which are presented to us by Mind's Eye Theater and By Night Studios. So, Loresheets in the book are marked down as a special type of background advantage. You can buy these at character creation, or with your storyteller's permission, you can buy them after your character's already been in play for some time. This is something that you're going to want to talk to your storyteller about, because not all Loresheets will fit within the confines of a chronicle. Loresheets are a special way of not only giving your character a special advantage or advantages in gameplay, but also tying them in to the overall background meta plot within the Vampire the Masquerade storyline. I have found as a storyteller that Loresheets tend to be ignored at character creation just because it's a new mechanic and people don't exactly know what it is. Now, depending on when you're watching this, or even in your chronicle setting, this might not be true for you. You could very well have a game there people are obsessed with Loresheets, and with good reason. People who are used to playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition tabletop will know the benefits of Loresheets and exactly what they can do for your character. And there are several options in Laws of the Night and in future publications coming out from By Night Studios. That being said, I do want to point out that Loresheets are a lot different in LARP than they are in tabletop. In the tabletop setting of Vampire the Masquerade, Loresheets are going to add a special nuance to your character sheet. You might get a bump here and there in a background, or even a discipline power, because you have an associated Loresheet. However, in LARP, Loresheets tend to be a heavier hitting mechanic. They give you massive advantages, and they also should be something that are limited in a game, maybe only allowing a certain number of people out of a larger group to take that amount. Or you could build an entire chronicle completely around a Loresheet. Another huge difference from tabletop to LARP is that, much like all other backgrounds in LARP, the Loresheets are limited to 3 different advantages instead of 5 as they are in tabletop, as there is a condensed way of running things, as with all backgrounds in LARP, compared to tabletop. Purchasing Loresheets can be done with your free points at character creation. At character creation, you get 7 free background traits, and you are completely allowed to dump those points into a Loresheet, getting those free dots. And I want to stress that very much, because there's a difference between dots and experience traits. At character creation, you will be given a free amount of experience traits to flesh out your character, to make them an individual. And when you have those are to be spent as experience points. Backgrounds are purchased at 3 experience per dot. But with your 7 free traits of dots, you can just take the points completely without worrying about the expanded cost when it comes to experience. That being said, if you wanted to buy the Sect Veteran Loresheet, for example, taking that would cost you 6 of your 7 free dots of backgrounds. However, if you're going to buy it with your free XP at character creation, it would cost you 3 points for a level 1, 6 points for a level 2, and 9 experience points for a level 3. Bring the total to 18 points if you wanted to buy a complete lore sheet. Now, personally, I am the kind of person who likes to buy things little by little over time so that my character has a chance to grow into what those advantages are. That is my style of playing. It is not the only style of playing. And being able to start with a small amount of a lore sheet to build up the tension is a lot of fun. With that being said, you do not have to buy these in order of experience. You do not have to start with level 1. You could very well start with the 3-point background instead, because what these are associated advantages with the meta plot that your character can take advantage of in any order they wish. You could buy a 1, you could buy 1 and a 3, you could buy just the second one. You can do it any way you want to. And that needs to be kept in mind, that these are not a progression style trait. In that way, multiple characters could start with the same lore sheet and have completely different advantages for taking it. The Descendant of Zelios lore sheet. I have personally always loved Zelios. I thought he was such an interesting character, and the idea of what the Nosferatu can accomplish underground, the fact that there is such a backing to it, the fact that there is a lore sheet that backs up how the Nosferatu work, and where the knowledge comes from, I think adds a lot to their internal story and strife, truthfully. Let's go ahead and see what this lore sheet offers for characters who decide to play a Nosferatu with this lore sheet. Investing 1 dot into this lore sheet gets you Architect. As masters of the urban environment, your lineage has access to all manner of information about structures. Once per game, you can freely access the schematics for a building. If you spend 1 downtime action scouting out the building, you learn all of the security features, secret passages, hidden rooms, and haven benefits, if any. You never get lost when inside any man-made or vampire-created structure. The idea of basic information on how a building's layout is completed. You know where to look for back doors. You know how to find secret rooms and things like that. That is all well and good. But the fact that you can just spend a downtime action and get all of that information, that leads open a lot of benefits to characters who are inventive enough and imaginative enough to really utilize this to its full advantage. Investing 2 dots into this lore sheet gets you Sanctuary. Your haven is a wonder of modern design, with electric security, escape routes, and lavish trappings. You gain a 3-dot haven that is exceptionally difficult to breach. It cannot be destroyed or breached by any physical means short of military-grade attack. You also gain 4 bonus dots of haven advantages of your choosing. You gain a 7-point haven. That's insanity. Because you get a maxed out 3, and then you get 4 to place in the advantages that you want. There are so many different advantages that you can add. Not to mention, this is just an unusually hard to get into haven that would take nothing short of military intervention to get in. That's just mind-blowingly useful. Investing 3 dots into this lore sheet gets you the Labyrinth. You have connected Zelios' Labyrinth to your own city, creating a combination of sewer tunnels and secret routes to move about. This secret network gives you the ability to travel to the exterior of any location with which you are familiar in half the standard travel time, provided the target location is within the same urban center. You may not use this advantage while in combat. Once you enter the sewers and declare your destination, you cannot be tracked, followed, intercepted, or caught, even through supernatural means. You may bring a number of individuals with you, up to the number of dots that you possess in the Streetwise skill. The Labyrinth gives you a lot of options when it comes to travel, and the fact that you can bring up to your number in the Streetwise skills of companions is pretty intense. You're not really going to find many coteries that are like 6 individuals, but I can also see where it is useful. I like the idea that you know everything so well enough and that you've interconnected the Labyrinth to the point where you cannot be followed. There's a lot of good uses here. And getting into the sewers is as good as a fair escape when it comes to a Nosferatu, especially one with this lore sheet. Descendant of Zelios. It gives you many options involving knowledge and escape and travel and your haven. Just the second point in this lore sheet is actually my all-time favorite when it comes to the way that Zelios intervenes. It reminds me a lot of the situation that we had with Jasper in LA by Night, if you were a fan of that. But yeah, there's just so many. It's really just up to the player's imagination to see what they can accomplish with as many benefits as this lore sheet gives. Now, this is also a Nosferatu specific lore sheet, so you do have to keep that in mind in character creation. No Ventru are getting away with Labyrinth. So I am voivodemekhet, and this has been yet another look at another lore sheet for the live-action Vampire the Masquerade by Mind's Eye Theater. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Good evening.